welcome to this tier list I'm going to do with the ARs. Now, listen here. If you're seeing this video and you've never seen this channel, never seen my name anywhere, that's completely fine. I'm not big, obviously, less than 100 YouTube subscribers, but hey, you got to start somewhere. And ever since this game has come out, and even towards the second half of NW3 2023, I thought I need and I really want to go ahead and give my opinions on some things. Now, I've been playing Call of Duty ever since Call of Duty 4, pretty much. And I am kind of knowledgeable, I want to say, about Call of Duty in general. So I thought I might as well give my opinion on the ARs and where they rank within each other for season 1 and launch weapons, launch ARs only. I'm not going to talk about the SMGs or the pistols or the snipers just yet. If you guys would like me to do that, you can comment down below if you want to see it. If not, I'm probably going to post them anyway. So, real quick, I'm going to explain what this channel is going to be about. If you really don't want to hear about this, you can just skip to the timestamp. I'm going to put it in the description so you don't have to hear me blabber, but it's going to be really quick. I'm probably just going to upload a lot of rankings, a lot of tier lists, a bunch of gameplay, a couple of clips, and maybe some in-depth breakdown if you guys really want to get my opinion on some certain things in Call of Duty, such as like overall experience with this game or any previous Call of Duty, something like in that ballpark or that nature that, you know, I wouldn't be opposed of doing that. And for the shorts, I just like to post memes about Call of Duty sometimes in the shorts. So that's really about it. But with all that out of the way, let us start. Coming in at number 8, I am going to have to say the Goblin MK2. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for a couple people, maybe a decent amount of people who like semi-automatic ARs, but for me personally, I am not the biggest fan. They are okay. They are fine. They deal decent to high damage, especially if you hit your headshots. And if your aim is good, and if your trigger finger is fast and on point, this gun is pretty viable. However, with the lack of fast fire rate, like I said, unless you have a great trigger finger, there are a lot more guns that can top this weapon. Now, let's look at some pros. It has decent recoil, it has decent damage, very good damage actually, and if you equip rapid fire for one of your attachments, it can be pretty fast shooting. But I only really found success with this gun in hardcore. That's where I used to get this gun gold, to get my camos done. It took a while, only because, one, I'm not that big of a hardcore player. I do enjoy hardcore, but I don't play it as much as I do core or ranked play or any other mode in this game. It can be fun to use, but a lot of the times when I used it in core, it was more or less a hindrance more than a huge impact for me to get high streaks or high kills. Now, like I said, it may upset some people, but this is my personal opinion. Now, moving on to number 7. I am going to put the GPR 91 in the number 7 spot. Now, I feel like the GPR 91, it is not a bad gun at all. But the problem is just your average AR. It has decent fire rate, has decent damage, has decent good range, but that's about it. Nothing makes this gun stand out to where it can be a really, really high tier gun in this game, because the rest of the ARs, as I'm going to say in the later part of the video, they outperform this AR, not by a lot, but they definitely outperform it. With that being said, I actually enjoy this AR. The GPR is not a bad AR for me. I had decent kill streaks with it. I went on a decent amount of killing sprees with this bad boy. It has great recoil. It has, like I said, a decent damage range, decent range in general, and a very decent midway damage. But the rest of the ARs in front of it can outperform this with almost every single last attribute as I just named. That's why it falls to number 7. Next up, in number 6, I am going to have to put the AK-74 in the number 6 spot. Now, when the game first dropped and I was unlocking all the ARs, I finally got to AK-74 thinking it's going to be the AK-47. It is a close cousin to it, but it's not exactly what I was looking for. For starters, when you first get the base weapon, level 1, the recoil is the most bouncy gun in the ARs category. Now, with that being said, if you level it up and use it enough to get some attachments on it, this gun is pretty viable. It has great damage, it has great range, and it's your standard post up somewhere and just get kills AR. But the farther your enemies are, the harder it's going to be to kill them because the recoil is just super bouncy. But like I said, once you get attachments unlocked for this bad boy and you're able to control the recoil pattern and get some vertical grips, some recoil springs, some a nice little muzzle on that, you are pretty much set to go. I don't think it's the worst. I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's a bad gun at all. I just think it falls at number 6 due to the recoil and how hard it can be managed to manage the recoil pattern. Now, moving in to number 5, I am going to say the Ames or Ames, however you want to pronounce it, 85. Let's rewind back to the beta. And when the game first launched, I thought the Ames 85 was going to be the best AR, bar none, in this game. I was an Ames stand. I used it as soon as I unlocked it in the beta. I used it until the beta ended, to be honest. It has great fire rate. It has little to no recoil. It has decent damage. It has great range. The only thing I had a problem with the Ames was the magazine size, because how fast the fire rate was for this gun, you got minimal bullets. I think it started, correct me if I'm wrong, 20 or 25 bullets. It may be 30, but I don't think it's 30. It might be 30. But with how fast the fire rate was for the Ames, it felt like you were draining through your ammunition a lot. So, but once you use it and once you level it up and you get some extended mags on there, this gun is great. Like I said, the recoil is little to none. It's fun to use. It's pretty fast paced. It's a fast paced type AR. If you equip quick draw or what's the grip called? The rear grip, the commando grip or the ergonomic grip, you are pretty much a moving and grooving heavy damage dealer with this Ames 85. I personally want to put this in the top 2-1, but I would be wrong to say that this is the best AR, because there are clearly other ones that are better than this, but the highest I can give it as of right now is number 5 on this tier list. Now, moving on to number 4, I am going to put the AS-Val. Now, the AS-Val is your do-it-all kind of weapon. You can remove the stock, put some quick movement, mobility attachments, and it can be a semi-larger SMG. You can move and groove with it, you can shoot and gun with it, and you can still post up if you have if you balance out your attachments to get the mobility and handling up, but also the accuracy as well. You can slide around like you have you have an SMG, but you can also post up and get on a head glitch and mow down like your AR. Little to no recoil, built-in suppressor so that you can be concealed under the radar whenever you're shooting your gun. The only people that may know you are shooting is the one that you are shooting at. And on top of that, the damage is pretty good. Fast fire rate equal to decent damage is a monster of an AR, and me personally. I know this gun has also came back. It was in a previous Call of Duty title. I'm not too sure which one it was because I didn't play a lot of the recent Call of Duty titles in recent years. Pretty much ever since Call of Duty MW 2019 came out, I didn't play much of Call of Duty around that time. But I played this game enough to know that AS-Val is pretty good in this game. I do think that the other ARs that I have not mentioned yet are slightly better. And that leads me to say the third best AR in this game, I'm going to give to the Model L. Now, The Model L, when this game first dropped, it was the go-to weapon, go-to AR for a lot of people. Dealt heavy damage, decent, a little bit on the slower end, but not too slow fire rate. Recoil was barely even there, and it was a 3 to 4 shot kill, close mid range, and then 4 to 5 shot mid to long range. You cannot beat that when you ask for a heavy duty AR. The only downside I have about this gun is the mobility aspect of it. It is not as fast as some would want it to be, but it makes up for it for the damage. Now, some people will probably put this in the number 1. I can make a decent case that it deserves a number 3 spot because I feel like the other two that I have not mentioned yet definitely outperforms it, but not by much. Pretty much ever since from, I would say, number 6 that I've mentioned earlier in the video, these guns are pretty great weapons. You can't really go wrong with them. So I have the Model L number 3. Let's move on to number 2, and I'm going to put the XM4. A fan favorite AR. It has great recoil, great damage, great range, great mobility. So I can really ask for an AR. It's a do-it-all weapon. It can shoot pretty fast. The reload animation isn't that bad. The mobility aspect is pretty good. The handling aspect is pretty good. And the firepower, if you put the correct attachments on it, could give you a lot of justice. Some would have this in the number 1. I wanted to put it in the number 1, but I was not able to just because the last AR that I'm about to mention right now definitely outperforms it, especially in the damage range. And if you guys haven't found out by now, the number 1 AR in Call of Duty Black Ops 6 as of Season 1 is the Krig C. Now, I know if you guys play Black Ops 6, you run into a lot of Krig Cs no matter what mode you're playing, if it is allowed. The Krig C is a human turret with heavy damage and unlimited range. You can kill 3 shots close range, 3 shots, 3 to 4 shots mid range if you had a headshot or 2, and no more than 5 bullets when it comes to the long range. Now, I do not play Warzone, so I don't know how it is in Warzone. You guys could probably educate me on that. But if we're just focusing strictly on the multiplayer, the Krig C is the best by far. It has great handling speeds. It has not that long of a reload animation. It is, bar none, the best heavy hitting AR in the game. Let me know if you guys disagree with my rankings of these ARs. If you guys will change something up, I would like to hear. And expect more content like this in the future. I plan on doing the SMGs next because I use SMGs as pretty much as frequent as these ARs, and look out for that video. But I enjoy you guys sitting here, enjoy this ranking video. Please leave a like and a comment, and I will see you in the next one. Catch you later.